everyone, Alexa Carlin here, and in this training, I am going to be teaching how to craft an elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is a way to share your expertise and your credentials very quickly with people who don't know who you are. The goal of an elevator pitch is not to sell, but rather lead people to get excited to have a longer conversation with you. So in this training, we divided it up into 3 different sections. The first section, we're going to go over the 5 aspects that make a great elevator pitch. In section number 2, we're going to share when to use an elevator pitch, because there's different ways and different places you should use an elevator pitch. And section 3, we're going to go over the steps to actually get you crafting and creating your elevator pitch. And bonus tip, you'll have a different elevator pitch based on the situation, which we're going to dive into. So you don't have to worry. Get your pen and paper out, take some notes, and let's dive in. In this first section, I will share the 5 aspects and components that make up a great elevator pitch. Now, I'm sure you've heard of really great elevator pitches and not so great elevator pitches along your journey. And the not so great ones, you may not even know they're that bad or that it was an elevator pitch in the first place. It just wasn't that great because it didn't lead you to take action of some sort. It didn't lead you to say, yes, I want to learn about your company, or yes, I want to work with you, or yes, give me your business card so we can connect. All great elevator pitches lead to something like that, depending on the situation. It gets people to say yes, and then want to take whatever call to action you have. So from our research, we define 5 key components that we found to be in every great elevator pitch. So, number 1 of these 5 components, number 1 is that it has to be brief. An elevator pitch is very short. It's about 30 to 60 seconds long. Number 2, it needs to be persuasive. You have to be persuasive in those 30 to 60 seconds. Number 3, it needs to be specific to your audience. An elevator pitch to a potential client is going to be very different than an elevator pitch to a potential investor. Number 4, it needs to include who you are, what you do, and who you serve. And number 5, every great elevator pitch has a strong call to action. If you don't have a call to action, people don't know what to do next. You always want to make sure to have a call to action in your elevator pitch. So those are the 5 key components. Now, some elevator pitches will include additional things. Some may be a little bit more short and concise, but those are the 5 key components that really need to be included in every elevator pitch, especially when you are just starting to craft one. So now moving on to section number 2. Now let's talk about, when do you use an elevator pitch, right? When do you actually share more than just 30 to 60 seconds? Or when is the right time to think about, oh my gosh, this is my chance to give my elevator pitch? There's so many different situations, but a few of them is, for example, 1, when you're meeting someone new that you'd like to have a longer conversation with. That's when you're going to give an elevator pitch, because you want to get them excited to say yes to that longer conversation. Another time that you use an elevator pitch is when you're introducing yourself to potential stakeholders. Now, stakeholders could be potential clients, potential partners, potential investors, potential community members. Whatever it may be, when you're introducing yourself and you want them to potentially be a stakeholder in your business, that's when you're going to use an elevator pitch. Another time is on social media. Think about all the apps where you only get a little bit of time to introduce yourself and win the audience. That's when you want to use an elevator pitch, because you want people to say, yes, I want to learn more about this person. Let me check out their Instagram. Let me check out their website. Let me learn more about them. and you never know where that may lead. And of course, you use an elevator pitch when you meet someone on an elevator. Now it's time to craft your elevator pitch. I highly recommend that if you created your value articulator statement and your PS formula, to take those out because it will come in handy to craft your elevator pitch. But let's dive in. There's 4 steps to helping you formulate your elevator pitches. And I say pitches because you'll discover in this first step that you're always going to create more than one. So let's dive in. Step number 1 to create a great elevator pitch is first identifying your goal. You have to know what your goal is because you're going to have different elevator pitches for different situations. Because, for example, my elevator pitch to my audience about buying my book is going to be very different than my elevator pitch to a journalist about writing my book. So that's why you really want to identify your goals now before you start crafting an elevator pitch, because it will be way more efficient. It will also be way more successful when you give the pitch if you know who you're talking to. So some examples of goals. A goal could be, I want an investor, a potential investor, to receive my pitch deck, to say yes to receiving my pitch deck. That would be a goal for an elevator pitch. Another goal may be get someone to say yes about being on my podcast, or get someone to say yes to learning more about me as a speaker, right? You want to land a speaking opportunity. So an elevator pitch to an event organizer to say yes to receiving my speaking credentials, or get someone excited about learning more about how they could be part of your business, or how to write about your business, right? You meet a potential journalist at a networking event, you give them a certain elevator pitch to get them excited to be like, yeah, I might want to do a story on this person. So these are all examples of goals, and it's really important to identify the goal based on the situation and based on the audience that you're giving it to before crafting just a blanket elevator pitch. This is going to help you get what you want, that person to say yes and to that next step. So that is step number 1. Step number 2 is to then write out and explain your unique value proposition. So this is where the value articulator statement comes in handy. So your value proposition is who you are, what does your business do, and who do you serve. That's what you want to explain in this short 30 to 60 second elevator pitch. So for example, who you are. Hi, my name is Alexa Carlin. I am the CEO of Woman Empower X and an author. What does your business do? WEX is a platform for women entrepreneurs where we help them grow their business and brand through speaking, writing, and community building. Who do you serve? Well, I just mentioned that, right? I said WEX is a platform for women entrepreneurs. So I already answered that. And that literally took maybe 10 seconds of this 30-second elevator pitch to say, hi, my name is Alexa Carlin. I'm the founder and CEO of Woman Empower X and an author. WEX is a platform for, and I continue. You want to think about what you want that specific audience to know most about you, because you can't include everything, okay? You have to be concise and specific. So what do you want that person to walk away from this 60-second interaction or this 30-second interaction knowing about you and your business? That's what you want to include in the elevator pitch. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is communicating your unique selling proposition. Okay. So your unique selling proposition is what makes you different. What makes you different than the competition? And we have an example of elevator pitch from the founder of Airbnb to potential investors, downloadable workbook that shows how they are different from hotels. So this is really great because it hooks people and reels people in. And if you can include hard numbers, how you increased clients' social media following, right? If you are pitching a potential client, or hard numbers on the impact your business has had, or whatever that may be. Like a perfect example that I've used in the past is in the past 5 years, we've attracted 20,000 women at our events and had people in attendance from over 40 different countries, all through word of mouth marketing. So that was really helpful when I'm pitching potential sponsors. So say if I'm meeting someone out and I obviously can't tell them everything about the event, but I want them to say, yes, I'm intrigued and I want to receive your sponsor deck, or I want to have a longer conversation. So that's where these hard numbers and really communicating your unique selling proposition goes a long way, because it gets in their mind and it also shows how you're different from other people they may know about or other businesses they may work with. The last step in crafting your elevator pitch is including a call to action. Now, a great way to include a call to action is actually framing it as a question. I highly recommend you use this method because it always usually leads to a more in-depth conversation or get someone to confirm that they want to learn more or want to continue on doing X, Y, and Z, whatever your call to action is. But of course, different situations call for different call to actions. Like if you're on social media and you are giving an elevator pitch by introducing yourself to someone, and it's a one-way conversation, whether it's a live stream, whether it's whatever it may be, obviously you can't ask a question because you can't hear them back. So that's where a call to action may be like, hey, I would love for you to learn more, download my free ebook, or connect with me here, or whatever that may be. But it is really great when you're talking to someone to use this time to ask a question. So here are some really great questions that we found to be very successful in getting the results that you want through this elevator pitch. So question, if I was giving an elevator pitch to a potential author for Wexpress. So this would be like a potential client in your business, in one of your products or services that you offer. So I can say, have you found success with getting your book published? If I want to continue on the conversation to make sure that they're the right potential client. So that would be a really great way to get them to start talking about themselves. Another example is if I was pitching a potential investor, I could say, can I send you my pitch deck? That's a great call to action, because a 30 to 60 second elevator pitch does not show everything to get an investor. You have to send more. Another example would be if I was giving an elevator pitch to a potential stakeholder. I can ask, would you be open to discussing this further? And then that could lead to exchanging contact information or scheduling a longer call. If I was pitching a potential speaking client, right, someone that I want them to book me as a speaker, a great question that I've used before that's been successful is, what topics are you looking to cover at your next event? Because then I could really make sure if I'm the right speaker. Another question I've used is, can I send you my speaker reel? Another question I've used as well is, have you ever covered this topic at one of your events before? So that's if I was having a conversation, I shared what I speak about in my elevator pitch, then that question would make sense, because then they could say no, but it sounds really interesting, or yes, and it's been very successful, or it wasn't successful, and then you know how to lead the conversation. This is also giving you inside information to be successful in furthering the conversation. Another example is if I was pitching a potential client, I can say, how does your organization handle X, Y, and Z, right? So if you offer certain financial services, you could say, how does your organization handle bookkeeping, or whatever that may be? So that's a really good question to leave off with. So those are the 4 steps to crafting your elevator pitch. You can find out more details below, as well as in the downloadable workbook. And we have templates for you and examples. We have a few different templates because, like I said, some could be longer elevator pitches that are more like 60 seconds, and some could be very short and to the point. So we have different templates where you can literally input your name, your value proposition, your CTA into these templates. So it makes it super easy. And I highly recommend actually you just go to those templates and start putting in your information for each one, and then edit and see how it flows and see what feels right to you. Because again, you're gonna have different elevator pitches for different situations. And you wanna make sure that when the opportunity comes to pitch someone that can help you grow your business and brand, you wanna be ready. And this will help you get ready. I'm a big learner from examples, so we included a ton of different examples. Some of these examples we found through our own research. Some have been pitched to us that have been successful. Some are from very well-known companies that we found, their elevator pitches during times when they were raising capital. So there's tons of different examples, and also there's different examples for different situations. Like, for example, there's elevator pitches to ignite interest examples. There's examples of elevator pitches for potential investors, potential stakeholders. There's an elevator pitch example for an email pitch, right? An email pitch looks a little bit different than a pitch where you're speaking to them. For a networking event, for a potential client. So all of these you can find in the downloadable workbook. So make sure to get it, as well as more info below in the text area. I hope this helps. Do the work, and I promise you'll see results, because the more you practice your elevator pitch, the better you get at it. And then also you're going to start realizing what flows for you. A big bonus tip right here is to always speak with passion and excitement. If you can give an elevator pitch with passion and excitement, a lot of times, majority of the time, it leads to success, or it leads to something positive for your business. So make sure that it really feels right to you, and add in your passion, add in why you started this business, add in like your excitement about it, because when you're excited about it, it gets other people excited about it. And again, the whole goal of an elevator pitch is get people excited to lead to a longer conversation or lead to something else. So that's the training. Do the work, and let me know in the group if you have any questions, or feel free to write your elevator pitch and share it with the group to get some feedback. My name's Alexa Carlin, and thanks for watching.